Good morning, 5-star. Happy New Year 2023. Good morning, Doug and Cindy. How are you today?
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Fantastic.
New
You
year,
ready
people.
for 2023?
Absolutely. New start, new goals, ready to go.
Absolutely.
What I like about a new year is I'm not a really big, start at the gym January 1, be done by January 15th. I hope to think I'm a lot more consistent than that. But what is good about January of a new year is we get to hit the reset button, right? We get to look at what we've done, what worked, what didn't work. We can set some new goals. So I always like a new year because it's kind of like a reset button, a clean slate. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Sounds great.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that we talk about. Okay, this is the year I'm going to set different goals or keep the same goals, or what's that got to look like? And so again, no different than the end of December. The first week of January for me is kind of like, okay, let's get back into that. And I don't want to call it a routine but we're all creatures of habit. And sometimes that routine feels good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's about setting those goals. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And making changes, things that maybe didn't work the best for you last year. Some of the things are, you would just want to find new ways of doing it, not get overwhelmed or compare yourself in that, but just finding new ways that maybe work a little bit better than what they did for you the previous year.
Yeah, just making some adjustments. I look back and I have my morning affirmations, my goals that I started last year. When I look at them, it's always fun to see, what did I attain? Did I attain all of it? Some of it? Did I grow? Did I improve? Did I totally miss the mark? I mean, I got to tell you, exercise 30 minutes a day has been on my life list for years, right? It never goes away. And it's always a struggle with the busyness of life. And I look back and go, well, it's still there, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's important too. I mean, you got to take care of yourself in order to attain the goals. And Tim and I, as a family, we have always been goal setters. We sit down usually the first of the year and we'll set goals and that. And then we like to go through and see what we achieved, what we didn't, and my business goals and things like that. But I don't want to use it as a pressure because I don't want to feel like a failure either, because I think any success you had last year is a success. And if something didn't work out, well, then we'll just find a better way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what we're talking about too is something that we read in that article that you shared with us, Cindy. We're talking about SMART goals, and again,
Yes.
are they measurable? Yeah, well, they're measurable. Are they achievable? Because sometimes I set a goal up here and I'm thinking, well, Doug, you're never going to get there. But yet set it, man, set it, work for it each and every day. And that's the thing that, is it relevant? Yes, it's relevant. Is it time sensitive? Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys can answer that. Yeah, it's got to happen in the first quarter of this year, the second quarter of this year. And again, for me to set those goals the first of every year, it's good because I keep that in my mind every time. You don't want to set these big, what do we call them, about the big, hairy, audacious goals that people set big things, and then they're so disappointed that they didn't get that accomplished. So
or they can't move on. And the big thing about goal setting is you own it, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, you own it. And that, I think that is much more achievable, whether you did it or you didn't do it, but that you had control over that. And then the next time, just, like we were talking about, just make a few changes and don't beat yourself up. Just be positive and be glad for another chance.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to use the word because, I got it here at the bottom of my screen. Accountable. Each and every. Set a goal. That's great. But then I always tell 4 or 5 people what my goal is, so they can. It's kind of like my little system of saying, "Hey, hold me accountable for this." And ask me how I'm doing in this area. Again, I think that's where, for me, that helps me grow. It helps me get better at not only setting the goal, but staying hard and fast to what that goal is each and every day. So
I like to look at goals as an opportunity to grow, because if we grow, we're going to reach our goals, right? And
Yeah,
if we, I like to look at goals as no goal is big and no goal is small, because all of the goals along the way to the end goal
Mhm.
are wins. So if we have a small goal of, and I don't like the word small, but if we have a goal of exercising 30 minutes a day, or making 10 phone calls a day to connect with others to build our business, then every day those are great wins along the way. And at the end of the day, when you get to the bigger goal, then you see all of your work all in one place, whether that's you've lost 15 pounds, or you got 5 sales, or you spent more time with your family. Whatever that goal is, those wins along the way are also very important big goals. So it's how we frame them.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. So, well, let's dive in, because we've all heard the phrase SMART goals. So, Cindy, what does the S stand for?
Specific.
Okay.
So specific goals. So really identifying what's important to you. And me, I don't like to get overwhelmed. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, and I want goals that are specific to me. If I compare myself and say, oh my gosh, they're going to make 15 calls, I'm making 20. To me, I'm just going to be stressing every single day. And I don't want to do that. I enjoy what I do and I want to keep enjoying it, but I do want to push myself, but I want it to be something, again, that I'm going to own and do it. But again, your goals are your goals and own them.
Mhm, mhm. So, is a goal, if I say, oh, I want to prospect more, is that specific or specific enough?
That could be a goal, but then I think I would put maybe some bullet points, like, are you comfortable with two contacts a day?
Right.
Make it a little more specific so you have a plan to follow. It's just
Mhm,
like, Kim, you're talking about exercising. You could say, oh, I'm going to exercise more.
mhm.
Okay, well, what do you mean? You're going to step out your door and go up and down the stairs a couple of times? No, you need to make them specific to you, and how you're going to achieve that, and get that done, so you have something to mark off. And
Right, right. We'll get to that, because then we'll see at the end, it goes with our time base.
yeah,
So a specific goal would be, I'm not gonna, not just, oh, hey Cindy, what are your goals? Oh, I'm gonna just prospect more. Okay, and then my question is gonna be, when are you gonna prospect?
absolutely.
Monday? Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Okay. What time? 9 to 11. What time are you blocking off on your calendar?
Yep,
That's where you need to be specific. Doug,
yep.
you make goals. Tell us about your specific goal every morning.
Same thing, same thing. I've said, I mean, I always set a minimum number of I'll call them ear-to-ear contacts of
Okay.
conversations to have, not sending a text, not sending an email, the ways that we all say, well, that's prospecting this day and age. Well, it could be, but for me, it's about talking. It's about using what God's given me to be able to pick up the phone, find out how people are doing, talk about the year, talk about what's going on in real estate. Who doesn't want to talk about what's going on in real estate, right? Only everybody. But again, a minimum for me, and I've always said, let's start it at an achievable goal. And then as your month progresses, as your year progresses, maybe increase that goal. But at least start with something that's measurable, it's achievable. So I start with 5
Okay.
every morning, 5 ear to ear, literally conversations. Do some days I make more than that and talk to more people? Yes. Some days it's less, So, but again, it's specific to me. And again, I'm not saying I totally echo what you said, Cindy. I'm not going to try to compare myself to other agents and how many calls they make and what's best for them. This has to be what's achievable for me each and every day.
Yeah, so you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. So you could say that's number 2, the M, SMART, S, specific, M, measurable. What you just told us is you can measure how many calls you've made this week, because you are specific about when you're going to make the call. So on Friday that I made 25 calls this week,
Yep.
right?
And I always say I'm going to do my calls first thing in the morning, so it's 9 a.m. I don't call too early because I don't want to get people out of bed. But at 9 a.m., I come hill or high water, I'm going to be making those phone calls, right? And again, it's tough because this goes back to discipline for me. Man, if I see my phone ringing and it's a voicemail, or if it's something that I should be doing, how can I discipline myself to say, hey, this is the time that I'm going to work on my business, not in the business, right?
It reminds me of John Maxwell. Says motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing.
Yeah,
It takes
Yeah.
discipline, and goals and growth all go together, right?
Yeah.
right.
Every time I've met a goal, I've always had to grow in my everyday way of living, what my patterns, whatever it is that I'm doing. It always challenges me to grow, whether that's learning to be more disciplined, whatever that is. To get to goals, they go hand in hand with growth.
Sure do.
Yep.
Okay, so we have specific, make sure they're specific, and if they are specific, then you can measure them. And then the A in SMART stands for achievable. So we want to have goals that are achievable. That's why we always recommend I don't like to say a small goal, but sometimes we say the big goal is the end game and the smaller goals are the step along the way, even though every win is a win. So just to clarify that. So wow, on Friday, Doug can go, yay, I achieved my 25.
Exactly. And it's measurable, right? I can look back at that week and say, okay, what could I have done better to have me make more calls? Or, I mean, there's a way of measuring that. And to me, it's a peace of mind too. It's a way of saying, okay, what you're doing is working. And if it didn't work that week, you could say, hey, this didn't work so well. So maybe I need to make some changes for the upcoming week, things like that. So
Yeah, and maybe a lot of agents say every year I'm going to update my database and get it into a CRM. So maybe that looks like adding 5 contacts to your database, maybe choosing a CRM, learning it, and figuring out how to get systems in place for you so that you can continue being the people person and getting that business to work for you. It could be there's a lot of things in real estate that we do every day. One of them is a marketing campaign. I say this every year. I want to automate that because I miss home anniversaries in June, July, and August. I miss them because I don't have them ready to go. The only way I can get them going is either a reminder or I have to write them all out at the beginning of the year. I think Tracy does this. She does all of them. And then they're sitting there on August 1, it can go out. So those are things that are also measurable. Anything personal, building your business, family, dreams, goals, whatever that is. Today, we're talking a lot about real estate, but there are many things in our life that we are always negotiating with to make happen.
Yeah, for sure. Well, just like you said, Kim, a new year too is also a good way to learn something new. Every year, I challenge myself to do something a little out of the box or a little different. And when we get off, I'll tell you about the exercise thing that I may be doing, Kim. But really, even in real estate, if you join one of our coffee hours or, one of the teaching classes, go to your association, go to one of their general membership meetings and all that, kind of plug in a little bit and do something a little different that maybe you didn't do that last year. And that's a good goal too.
for sure.
So we have, make sure they're achievable. You'll be able to measure them instead of saying, oh, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Maybe let's start with 200,000. Maybe we start with 100, then 200, then 400. You want to be able to achieve it because otherwise you'll be discouraged. Now, we hope you reach that goal, but we also want to be a little more realistic. I know some trainers say, make your goal and then double it. And that's all good, but make sure that you have those attainable goals along the way so that you're making progress. Otherwise, you might get discouraged. But if you see every week, wow, I got 5 new leads, and I'm also bringing in now 2 sales from those 5 leads every day, you'll be able to see the progress that you're making by connecting.
Yeah,
So-
and it helps you want to get out of bed and do it. You don't want to
Yes.
beat yourself up every day and say, oh my gosh, I got to do this again. Or, you know,
Right.
you're in a sales business. People know you're in a sales business. So you shouldn't apologize for making contacts and things like that. That's what we do. That's kind of who we are.
Mhm. One of the things that I always want to encourage you to do is dream big. Yes, always dream big. And we hope you win, but have a plan along the way to see your progress. One of my goals, when I hear the news saying it's going to be a horrible year in real estate, I always have a knee-jerk reaction that says, watch me do it, right? Watch me. I'm going to dream bigger than what you're telling me I can do. Have that inspiration inside of you that says, yeah, but I'm going to break all your rules.
Mhm.
That's the attitude that I want to have going into it. I'm going to dream big. You might be giving this report, but I'm going to be that one that doesn't follow that curve.
Yeah.
So
Plus, people are always going to need houses. Someone's always going to be buying a house. So
always going to be buying a house, and we could get off on that, but it's a great time. It's a good
Yes.
market. It's an
Yes.
opportunity, and we want you to take that. All right. So we have specific, measurable, achievable, and the R in SMART stands for relevant. So one of the examples would be, okay, I want to build my social media. I want to have 1,000 followers by the end of January. That's all amazing. We want followers, but what do we really want from the followers? We really want
business.
clients,
Yeah.
right? We want sales.
Yeah.
So make sure when we're setting our goals that they have an end to them. Yeah, I do want to connect. That's amazing. I'm going to connect with everybody, but what's my conversion? My end goal is really to build my Facebook profile so that I'm in connection where my phone rings and I have sales.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can't, if, you know, I'm not a social media guru, I don't know, but find somebody that is to help you and get you started and you know, get your profile out there. You'll feel good about it.
Yeah, well, you guys know me. I'm a very big social media.
We go to Doug for all our techie stuff.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. I just need to be liked. So I love all those likes. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. All reality, you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, we spent a lot of time doing a lot of that, but it really is going to come down to your connection with people, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're for sure in the people business. People say, well, but you sell real estate. Yeah, we do that, but we're in the people business. And that is where that is an important piece. And that's a goal for me. Make it relevant to what I know I'm capable of doing and what I know I can do to grow my business personally. So, but I'm envious when I see people's Facebook and all of the things that are on social media. I get, man, how come Doug Hale can't do more of that? Right. But the reality is I have to work within the things that work for me. And again, that's where everybody has different gifts and I love it.
Yeah.
And
And
we
like
know-
you said, oh, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah. Doug Hale is the mayor. That's your gift.
Yeah.
You're the people's people.
Well,
You know?
my goal is to talk to more people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty relevant, measurable goal for me because that's how I get the needle to move.
Yep.
Well, like you said, it's relevant. And if you're going to do something, make sure it's relevant to your business, you know, to help you be able to succeed on your goals. But relevant is very important.
And then the last one is time-based. I love it when I can look back and say, my goal for last year was to sell 15 houses and $4 million, whatever that goal is for you. And I can look back and say, I did it. I made that happen, whether it's the number of sales or the dollar volume, and then be able to say, this year I'm going to sell 20 houses and 6 million, whatever that is. It should always be time sensitive so that you work your way backwards. So if I say out there, December 31st, give me a goal, Cindy. What by December 31st, do you have a goal out there or make one up?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
Sell a couple $1 million houses, but
Okay,
that's
there
kind
you
of where
go.
I'm at. And I
Yeah.
think it's achievable, but anyways.
Yeah, so you've got your regular business and you're saying, I want to add a couple million, $2 million homes to that. So then you ask yourself, okay, how am I going to make this happen? So now you have to work yourself backwards. Like instead of at the end of the year being, oh, well, I'm going to sell $2 million homes. You're like, okay, so how am I going to do that? What activities do I need to be doing? Where do I need to be associating at, right? Who do I
Yeah.
need to be rubbing shoulders with? What clients out there are looking for this price point? Then we have to work ourselves backwards. So what does that mean by week, by month, and then at the end of year, instead of getting the end of the year and go, wow, hope and prayer really didn't happen, right? What are
Yeah.
my activities to get there?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. You got to have a plan. And just like you said, whether you do it or not, you had a plan, you worked it, and you're going to
Yeah.
be better off for it for sure.
Yes. Yes. So I love this conversation. So before we hang up here today, we just really want to encourage all of our agents to just take this SMART acronym and apply it to yourself and give us a call. Say, hey, Kim, Doug, Cindy, I listened to your live stream today and these are my goals. Will you help me be accountable? Can I check in with you every week or every other week for 10 minutes? Because accountability isn't on our list, but I find accountability is a big part. Why do we wear an Apple Watch? To see how many steps we get. Why? I'm one that has to log it. Like I need to see I did that today. I did.
Me too.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Doug's got one too.
This is my year for an Apple Watch.
Is that a Rolex? Is that a Rolex?
I need to get I need to get my steps in, people, because this is about me right now. This is about accountability and doing the things that I'm setting my goals for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of them. So
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We're having this conversation. That's great.
Yep. So any final thoughts today for 2023? Anything for the agents? Anything you want to share about your goals, what you hope to see happen this year?
I think everybody just enjoy the year and don't get overwhelmed by whether you had, you contacted people, whether it went good, bad. I think just like we were talking about, just own it, move on, don't concentrate on the negative. I truly believe it's going to be a great year, but plug into like the coffee hours, like we said, the education, go to an association meeting and get involved. And there's a lot to real estate, but real estate's fascinating. It is. It's a fascinating industry.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
How about you, Dougie?
And I think the same thing applies. What you said at the start of this call, hit the reset button. It's time to hit the reset button, right? Okay, what's happened in the past has happened in the past. Let's learn from it. Let's grow from it. And as Kim Anderson loves to apply that word reset, I'm ready to reset. Let's go to work. So
I love it. I love it. Well, one of my goals over the past several years is I'm a type A personality. I work all the time. If I'm not working with 5-star, I'm working in my business. I'm working in my yard. In the past several years, I have said, you're going to have more time to just let things go. And you're just going to enjoy your life. And I can look back and say, 2022, I feel like I achieved a lot of that goal and bringing some balance into my life. And I like it. I like it. In 2023, just really, it's always about just being. It's just about being and just being present, being in the moment. I think we all struggle with that sometimes.
Yes.
And sometimes at the end of the day, my palms hurt right here from hanging onto a phone all day long. And so I feel good about that, about the progress that I'm making. And every year I feel becomes more peaceful. Every year I have goals, but I feel like as I've learned to grow and just work on who I am and my daily habits, my goals happen for me. That's just for me personal. personally, because I've been so driven by my goals. I'm kind of like trying to find balance in all of it. That's just me personally. So I didn't sit down and write any goals, but I sure want more of 2022. It was a great year. And I'm learning to be more calm, more present, more, but this is okay, less stress. And so that's my goals. So we want to encourage everyone, whatever your goal is, hit the reset button this year. Call us up. We're happy to help you. I have an appointment this afternoon with an agent that checks in a couple times a month, and we're here for you. So one of the things we want to remind you or let you know of is that we are going to change our 10,000 Club schedule just a little bit. So we will continue to be live into the community, into the classroom, the first and third Thursday of the month, and bringing you excellent content. I'm also excited. We are looking at 2023 in our education calendar. Last year, we added a lot of great resources for you. This year, we have a lot more coming up. We've seen business planning, you're seeing goal setting, just a lot of basics, dot loop. So be sure to check the schedules because we are adding those daily. We're adding them to the website as well. I think Doug Hale is going to be doing a live open house video for us.
Here we go. Coming up. I'm excited. I'll have my,
Yay.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah, yeah. I believe Marissa is doing a class next week on building a team. So be sure to check out our education, tune in here, tune in to connect. And so we'll be here the first and third Thursday. And then I believe in between, we are looking at bringing in some outside resources to share with you. So we just same as our personal goals as a company, we just keep getting better and better. And we look at what worked, what didn't work, and we're excited about what we have coming up in 2023.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are.
Well, good to see your faces today. I would love to see the sun.
Yes,
I
please.
know. I don't
Love
know.
to see the
But
sun.
I'm going to work on being more peaceful. That's what I'm going to work on.
I have a sad light right here. It helps a lot.
Oh, okay. I'll have to get one of those.
Hey, we got
sunshine.
sunshine this weekend, people. So hang in there.
All right. Everyone have a great day.
All right.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Cindy,
Bye.
thanks.
Bye.
Take care.